If you haven't checked me out yet on Instagram, head on over to Geekdom Big D on Instagram, where I post all kinds of different stuff that I'm interested in, like movies, Dragon Ball, of course, sports, and my adventures. And I hope to make you laugh too. Instagram.com/geekdombigd. Let's get to the video. So the topic of today's video is going to be, what if Granolah, the strongest in Universe 7 up until Gas made his wish, but what if Granolah was on Team Universe 7 and was in the Tournament of Power? Let's discuss what we think would have happened in that scenario. Granolah wished to be the strongest by summoning the Cerulean Dragon, and he was able to leapfrog Ultra Ego Vegeta and Ultra Instinct Goku. But are we really seeing Vegeta and Goku at their max power? And what would Granolah have done in the Tournament of Power against people like Kefla, God of Destruction Toppo, Jiren? Would he have just stomped them, or would there have been something else that's going to happen? We're talking about all of that and more here on today's video, and joining me to discuss this, please welcome back to the channel, MJ. What's up?
What's going on, man? So we're going to be like jumping back and forth from anime and manga, right? Because there's obviously differences, like Toppo's God of Destruction form wasn't in the manga version of TLP, right? So it's like,
absolutely, bro, whatever, we'll go back and forth. The story is that the Granolah we're talking about is Granolah after he made the wish. So right. One would easily say, well, Granolah would just be able to beat everybody, because if you wish to be the strongest in Universe 7, you're going to be stronger than Goku and Vegeta were in that tournament. But you have to remember, we're scaling it back here, because some people are just going to say, oh, well, Granolah would have won. Well, maybe not, because think about this. We're scaling it back to the TOP timeline, not the Granolah arc timeline. This is before Moro. So if Granolah wishes to be the strongest, stronger than Goku and Vegeta, that means that he would be the strongest, but not as strong as the Granolah that made the wish in the Granolah arc. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay, so I hope people aren't confused here, because there's a lot more to it than that. So Granolah with the wish, now facing off against Jiren, the strongest in Universe 11. Now, prior to Goku and Vegeta unlocking Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, Jiren was able to pretty much stomp these guys. So how would Granolah have matched up against Jiren in this tournament?
The weird thing about the TOP is that Jiren was pretty much stated to be above his God of Destruction. Now there's other,
it said above Gods of Destruction, bro. People want to retcon that line, but it was more than just his.
And there's also like material backing that up too, like V-Jump and all that other stuff saying like Gods of Destruction. And then of course he was like the narrative wall for like Goku and Vegeta, specifically Goku, to overcome. Granolah going up against Jiren, it's kind of weird, because in this, like, if you jump into the Granolah arc, which I know you just said this is TOP timeline, if you jump into the Granolah arc, Vegeta kind of implies that he's still weaker than Beerus, and like he even like can't do the Hakai as great as Beerus. Like there's even a line where like, he throws a whole bunch of rocks, he makes them blow up with a Hakai, and then Granolah's like, you lack destructive power, so you make it up a quantity. So if Vegeta and Granolah and Goku are all still, if you want to, go that route, are all still weaker than Beerus, then I don't know what that means for the TOP, considering that they're obviously weaker in this timeline, and Jiren is stated to be above Gods of Destruction. It's a very weird, wonky argument. I'm just going to say this, that when it comes to Jiren, I'm pretty sure he would lose to Granolah, just going off of the fact that... And I
want to make it clear that Granolah's the strongest in Universe 7, not the multiverse. Let's not forget, that's the wish he made. So that would imply that somebody from Universe 11 could still be stronger. But go ahead, you were saying.
The only reason why I would make the argument that Granolah could possibly still win, even in the TOP timeline, is people forget this. He's supposed to be, and I know it's a joke at this point, but he's supposed to be a prodigy of his own race. Like he's a master class of like the snipers and stuff like that. He has like one of the best eyes. We see that he gets even stronger, that he has some sort of weird ability to adapt. He unlocks the second eye as well, while he's fighting and adapting to Vegeta's powers. So, and then of course his knowledge of vitals, pressure points, the accuracy. I feel like over time while fighting
and
Jiren,
entropy, but you can't use that in the tournament.
I think he would wear Jiren down. I think it would be a situation of a Goku versus Frieza, or like a Gogeta versus Broly. I feel like he would eventually wear down the bigger dude who has way more openings, if that makes any sense. I think that could possibly happen.
That could, for sure. Now, if things go the same way, and Goku does tap into Ultra Instinct like he did in the actual anime and manga, then we have a different scale here, because now we're going to have a UI Goku like what he was in the TOP. We've got Vegeta with Blue Evolution if we're talking about the anime, and we've got Granolah being at this point either the second or third strongest, because once Goku taps into UI, he would at that point have surpassed Granolah during the fight. So if things go the same way, what we have here is a possibility of a new team. And I'm talking about the team of Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah. And I say that to say this. If Granolah is in Team Universe 7, he's going to be replacing somebody else. So if you take out somebody like a Tenshin Han or a Master Roshi or a Krillin, someone who's not that powerful or not as strong as Granolah, that's going to tip the scales of that whole team. Like, Granolah being on that team after making the wish will change the whole team. So I feel like if it ends up being Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah against, let's say, I don't know, Dispo, Topo, and Jiren, at that point, if they do it like that, having Granolah on your team is still better than having like a Master Roshi, you know what I mean? And even though we've seen them do great stuff, like, it does make Universe 7 stronger. Now, at the same time, the way Granolah got strong was basically, in a weird way, by cheating. He wished for it. So, I feel like Granolah being the strongest in Universe 7, here's the big question. Could he have knocked Topo out? And I think the answer to that is yes. However, it's implied that manga Topo might be a little bit stronger, even though he doesn't have the TOP power. Or, I'm sorry, the GOD power, excuse me.
Yeah, the God of Destruction form is, exclusive to the anime, but in the manga, he still is faring very well against Vegeta, up until Vegeta gets that rage boost and he challenges Jiren. But, he still is pretty powerful, but obviously the scale is Jiren would scale above Topo and Dispo. So if Granolah, as we talked about, with his extreme knowledge of vital points and the pressure points and everything like that, and being like the kind of sneaky, cunning character that he is, being able to snipe you from like far away and knock you out. Like, remember, we saw him knock dudes out. He didn't actually have to kill him. He just knocked them out. So
he could go in there and stomp a lot of the other universes, like Universe 6 and Universe 4. Like, he could do that.
Remember that move that he did when he first encountered Goku and Vegeta, where he kind of did it? He pulled a Vegeta where he sent a whole bunch of ki blasts all at them, like everywhere. And
Vegeta and they was were like, all pinpoint.
Exactly. That Vegeta's like, wait, these are different. Like, they're coming straight. Like, the accuracy's wild. Like, dude, he could knock out so many people with that one move in the TOP, like at the start of it.
Right.
So
he could.
Granolah would be a game changer.
House.
He would be a game changer, bro, because he could snipe you from afar. So,
but think about this: if Granolah, here's another part of this what if scenario, because this is a what if. If Granolah was in this tournament, right, and he does what you just said, that tells me that Jiren would sense that and get serious a lot sooner. Because it took Jiren a long time to get up from that little Indian position meditation he was in. He was in that for a long time. And I feel like if he senses that Granola's in there just knocking dudes out left and right, we might not even get a Kefla. We might not even get like the Ani Raza thing. If he's going in there cleaning house, Jiren would have to take this guy a lot more serious and actually maybe even show off his full power, at which point Jiren may knock him out of the tournament. But I feel like one of the problems, which I criticized Super for when it happened, was that it didn't make sense to me that Jiren was screwing around when he was so strong. He could have just eliminated everybody until he got down to Goku and Vegeta. But he didn't. He meditated the whole time. I didn't like that because it didn't really make much sense. And I think that in this case, we have two Titans who could probably do this well. Now, how do you think Granolah would fare against Kefla? Because we saw Kefla do really, really well against some of Goku's God forms, but when Goku went into UI Omen, she was history.
Well, we know that Goku has the blue form and the Kaioken at the start of TOP. Kaioken times 20, mind you. So if Granolah makes the wish in that time period and he becomes stronger than Goku and Vegeta, he should be above the Kaioken times 20. And if that's the case, Kefla could probably, do what the whole Saiyans do, get stronger as they fight, and probably reach close to Granola's level, but I don't think she's scaling to Granolah because Granolah himself seems to adapt already, and plus he seems to be a way smarter fighter. Not necessarily to say that he's a full-on martial artist, but he is very cunning. He is very cunning, and he will go in for the knockout hit, so.
Do you think strategically, if Granola's in this thing, he could actually be a better leader as far as getting Universe 7 together? Because one of the things I did not like about Goku is that, in theory, he was the leader of Universe 7, and I guess Beerus was the coach, but they didn't have a game plan. We don't even know if any of the universe had a game plan except for the robot universe. They were just kind of doing their own thing, and I feel like it would have been smarter if they had huddled together like a football game and come up with a game plan. And I feel like Granolah would be the guy to come up with a game plan, because when he saw Goku and Vegeta coming, he had a game plan. And I feel like Granolah coming in there and saying, no, we can't just jump in there and fight. Obviously, Goku and Vegeta will ignore him because they're going to do whatever the hell they want, but I think that Granolah could have at least gotten everybody else together and said, look, we need to have a game plan or we're going to get wiped away. That is something that I thought was kind of silly. Like, I understand Goku and Vegeta love fighting. We all know that. But this is for the sake of the universes, dude. This is for the future of your existence. You got to have a game plan, man.
I mean, you mentioned it, the way Granolah had a game plan for Goku and Vegeta. I mean, he could probably send out his clone, which is still very fucking powerful, and still clean house that way, and then, and then he'll come out for the real fight against like Jiren and Toppo and them. Like that's also a possibility as well.
Right. Yeah, no, he could. And the clone could eliminate a bunch of dudes, like some of the weaker guys, like maybe most of Universe 11 and...
Yeah, because the clone by itself was strong, because we don't know. Obviously, the clone, I think, is... He has, like, all the techniques we've seen throughout the years. Like, he has the instant transmission, he has the entropy Hakai, like he has all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be a play on Ten Shinhan's clones, but that clone was...
It's an advanced version.
Very powerful. He was knocking out God Goku and Blue Goku with the vital points.
Yeah,
so
with the vital points.
He would clean house, dude, if he just sent his clone out there. So no, there's a lot of stuff Granolah could do. He would be a game changer for Team Universe 7. He would be...
It might actually turn out to be easier for them, but at the same time, like we talked about, it might turn Jiren up to full blast earlier. You know what I mean? Than what happened.
It's kind of the same argument that I did with Laughingstock Media, where we discussed what if Moro was in the Tournament of Power, and I brought up, well, maybe since Moro is a villain, and when Goku sensed his energy, Goku's like, I sensed like all these screaming souls coming from him. If Jiren and Toppo sensed that at the start of the TOP, they would have turned it up immediately. They would have said, oh, we got to get that fool out of here. He's a villain. Like, we got to get him off the stage. So,
in some ways, I kind of wish that they do another Tournament of Power and he is in it. I really do wish they do that, because then we're going to see some really cool stuff. If he's still alive by then.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. I definitely hope that Granolah doesn't, kick the bucket in this next arc. I hope he sticks around, because if they do another tournament in the future, whether it's old school style or the 80-man tournament, it would be cool to have him around, because he is a very smart fighter. So.
And he's become more likable now that we know what happened to his mom. I think the fandoms, well, at least me, I can't speak for everyone, has kind of babyfaced him a bit more now. So we are all kind of hoping that, he does get his revenge. Anyways, thanks a lot for being here. Let us know in the comments what you think. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you in the comments down below. Peace.